If you are 30% body fat, you should not be lifting weights. Lose the fat first by doing intense cardio sessions. That is what some people on social media will tell you, but it is absolutely false. My name is Munir Azegra and I'm an online fitness coach with over 10 years of experience. I have helped hundreds of people go from 30% to a healthy 15% body fat while using lifting weights as their main form of training. There are 7 key movement patterns I want you to train if you are now at 30% body fat. This will level up your fat loss and muscle development progress. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video because the 7th movement pattern is the most important, and I will show you a complete example workout applying the 7 exercises. Let's start with the first movement pattern, which is the squatting variation, training the quadriceps, glutes, adductors, and spinal erectors. The squat is a big compound exercise that helps you burn many calories. Because you train so many large muscle groups, you also get an interesting hormonal response when you perform barbell back squats. Multiple studies show that your testosterone levels actually increase when you perform heavy free weight squatting. And testosterone plays an important role not just in how much muscle you can build, but it also impacts your body fat percentage. This is one of the key reasons why I recommend resistance training as a whole. You build quality muscle while also creating a healthier hormonal environment that benefits your fat loss progress. Now, I also understand that doing heavy barbell back squats is not for everyone. You may experience lower back pain or may not be able to do a full range of motion squat. So as an alternative, you can also go for a Bulgarian split squat variation. Or if you are completely new to the gym, research shows a leg press machine will have similar muscle activation in the lower body as a back squat. The squat was a key component in the training of my online coaching client, Zakaria, and it clearly helped us see awesome body composition progress. So incorporate it into your routine. The second exercise I want you to incorporate is a horizontal pushing movement. Oftentimes, men at 30% body fat will struggle with the lower chest region. You may have heard of the term man boobs, and the solution to this is losing body fat with controlled nutrition. But building your lower chest muscles through horizontal pushing variations is also a big help. When you build more muscle in the lower chest region, the chest fat has to spread through a larger cross-sectional area, so you end up making the chest look leaner. A barbell or dumbbell bench press are equally effective for training your chest, as supported by the research. So select the exercise that suits your preferences best. Also, for beginner trainees, training a push-up or machine chest press is effective as well for exercising a horizontal push. We have quality research showing that as long as you train close to muscle failure, a push-up and machine chest press stimulate the chest similarly well as a bench press. Use this knowledge to your advantage. The third movement pattern to incorporate is a vertical pulling motion. Another trouble area for many people is the love handles, that stubborn fat around the waist. Again, losing fat through a calorie deficit will help you reduce the stubborn love handle fat, but we also need to build up the muscles of your back to create a contrast effect. If while losing fat you also work on building up your lats and upper back muscles, you will see progress faster and create that V shape many people are looking for. While at 30% body fat, you probably will not be able to do pull-ups just yet. So a lat pull-down variation is an excellent movement to train a vertical pull in this case. We know from research that when you grip the lat pull-down handle slightly outside of shoulder width, you get a nice balance of lats and upper back muscle activation. While strengthening your lat pull-down, you can also practice a machine-assisted pull-up once a week, just to get familiar with the pull-up movement pattern. So that as you get leaner, you can also crank out those bodyweight pull-ups. Next to a vertical pull, I also recommend you train a vertical push, which is the 4th movement pattern. A vertical pushing motion like a seated dumbbell shoulder press or standing barbell overhead press will help you develop the shoulders, which further contributes to developing a wider shoulder frame. Because think about it, most people do not just want to become a smaller version of themselves when they lose body fat. They want to look lean and muscular. Creating a wider upper body frame will help with that, so be sure to incorporate some vertical pressing. My favorite pressing variation is the seated dumbbell shoulder press on a slightly inclined bench. Be sure to push close to muscle failure to see the muscle growth benefits. The 5th movement pattern takes us back to the lower body, which is a hinging pattern. We have 2 options here, a Romanian deadlift or hip thrust. For most people, I would recommend a Romanian deadlift, since this will help you train the posterior chain as a whole with a good focus on the hamstrings. With the squatting variation we did before, your quadriceps and glutes already got good stimulation, so we can benefit from an exercise that focuses on the hamstrings. With that said, if you experience lower back discomfort and are not able to directly load the spine, go for a hip thrusting motion. With the hip thrust, there's no actual loading on the spine, so you can train the posterior chain muscles like the glutes and hamstrings more comfortably. The hamstrings and glutes are large muscles, one of the two largest muscles in the human body. So training these muscles will allow you to burn a good number of calories while improving your body's functional strength. Speaking of functional strength, there's another movement pattern I want you to incorporate into your routine, and that is torso rotation in the form of a cable wood chop. While lifting weights, we often train straight movement patterns: a vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, and vertical squatting. But there is not much rotational movement. While in life, we do rotate and bend our bodies all the time. So for your functional fitness, make sure to incorporate a rotational movement like a cable wood chop as well. The seventh and final movement to incorporate is a form of cardio, and to be specific, long distance walking. I have discussed the power of walking before in previous videos, and I will now do it again while walking around here at Hyde Park in London. Let me remind you that one study found that walking just an extra 20 minutes per day increases your fat loss progress by 20% if you also keep your nutrition in a calorie deficit. You may have noticed that the exercises I discussed in today's video are mostly strength-based exercises. That is on purpose because strength training will help you retain muscle and get a lean physique. Unlike the previous exercises, this seventh movement pattern in the form of walking will directly benefit your fat loss progress. So it is arguably the most important movement to incorporate if you want to drop fat from 30% body fat. For most people, research shows that aiming for at least 8,000 steps per day is a good general guideline. You can do this by walking outside, or you can walk on a treadmill. Just don't hold on to the rails. A 2014 study found that if you hold on to the treadmill rails while walking, your calorie burn decreases by 20 to 35%. So just walk normally on the treadmill. If you are short on time and struggle with getting an extra 30 to 40 minute walk on a daily basis, you can introduce formal cardio in your routine. A 20-minute running or elliptical session 3 times per week will have a similar impact as walking every day in terms of fat loss progress. Now that we discussed the 7 key movement patterns, I want to give you an example full body routine that places these movements into one program. On the screen, you can find 2 full body training days that include all the key movements. We have a squat, horizontal push, vertical pull, vertical push, a hinge, torso rotation, and walking. See this 2-day example as a good starting point in your fat loss journey. I also added a few extra movement patterns like a biceps curl and a side raise, just to have a well-rounded routine that also isolates some smaller muscle groups. While working with my online coaching clients like Zachariah, I also have them perform these movement patterns. With Zachariah, we saw amazing progress after 1 year of working with each other. Many of my other online coaching clients saw these benefits as well. Of course, the training plan was adapted based on my clients' goals and availability. For instance, Zachariah trained 4 times per week, while Sylvester had a 3-day plan. So consider the principles I discussed today as guidelines that you can apply in your program. Also, this training approach only works if you have an effective nutrition plan that places you in a calorie deficit. Having a calorie deficit combined with resistance training is the formula that will take you from 30% to 15% body fat. If you are interested in my personalized guidance to level up your fitness progress, you can apply to my one-on-one online coaching service. Apply by visiting the link in my description. I will personally design your training and nutrition plan while holding you accountable throughout the process. Go ahead and apply so we can get a fantastic journey started. And that was it for today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to train if you're at 30% body fat. Here above, I have an awesome new video aligned for you to learn more about science-based fat loss. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one.